This butter is already cold, but for the purposes of making any kind of biscuit, you want it very cold. So what we're going to do is cut it into small cubes, and then we'll put those in the freezer for a few minutes, and they'll be really cold. We're also going to put our flour, which is 2 3/4 cup of regular all-purpose flour, in a freezer for a bit as well. And then we're going to take the flour, which you may recall is a 1/4 cup. Things stick here because it's so humid, it's awful today. And a teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And we're going to mix those all together. Then we're going to toss in some of the butter, probably half or maybe a little better. Mix that around a little bit just to get it coated. Then we're going to take our pastry cutter. This particular one is one of my favorite tools that I've bought. I got it from Amazon about 3 years ago, and it's been a very good, very strong pastry cutter. Okay, then after we've done that, with that part of it, we dump in the rest of the butter. And we do the same thing. Working with cold butter and cold flour here is absolutely necessary, but it's kind of necessary anyway because it helps to keep the butter from melting, and you don't want the butter to melt until it's in the oven because that helps with the flakiness of your biscuit. And we want maybe pea-sized pieces of butter left. And after we've done that, we're going to pour our cold buttermilk in. And again, this is a buttermilk substitute. I'll put a link up above for that. We just pour it all in at once and then stir it around until it's all absorbed by the flour, or mostly absorbed anyway. It's going to be a pretty shaggy dough, I guess. So there's too much flour to absorb all the liquid. So what's going to happen is we're going to have some dry parts of the flour left. But that's okay. And it's going to look like this about the time we get it all stirred. And you can still see some dryness down on this side. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some extra flour and we're going to sift it onto our work surface. Because this dough is going to be a little on the sticky side, so you need to work with a floured work surface and floured hands. But let's dump this over first. After you dump that dough out of the bowl, you're going to want to flour your hands. This dough is pretty sticky at this point. Form it into a ball. And any dry pieces or little chunks of butter that are on the table, just pick them up, put them on top so you can push them down in. Then we flatten the ball. We want to make it about 3/4 of an inch thick or so. Fold the edges to the middle and press it back down. We're going to do the same thing from this end. We go to the middle, and then this one we fold over the other side and press it down flat again to about 3/4 of an inch thick. We want to do this 3 or 4 times. That helps it have that helps it be a flaky biscuit. You can see the pieces of butter in the dough. That's a good thing. That helps also to make it flaky. I don't have a cookie cutter, so I flour the edge of a drinking glass and push straight down into the dough. Don't twist it. For the last little bit, I don't bother to flatten it out into a disc that's the right size for the biscuit. I just make it as close as I can and shape it to resemble a biscuit. And then that's it for the cutting. What happens now is I put them all on a parchment sheet on a baking pan and then put them in the oven. That's our pan of biscuits for the shortcakes right out of the oven. They're still too hot to touch. We're going to leave them in the pan to cool. And then after they've cooled for probably 10 minutes or so, then we're going to move them to a rack and let them cool again. As important as the biscuit, you have several options when it comes to the strawberries. You can use fresh, slice them up, put sugar on them, let them sit for a while so the juices work out. And that's really, really good if you can get good ripe fresh strawberries. Now all that's left is assembling our shortcakes. Cut a biscuit in half. Fill the middle with strawberries. Put the top back on. Another layer of delicious strawberries. And then your choice of toppings. I'm using a homemade whipped cream just because it's pretty easy. I'll put a link up above. But you can use Cool Whip if you like that, or the canned whipped cream, or whatever topping you happen to like. And that's the completed strawberry shortcake. All that's left to do is to eat it. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe, like, comment, and share on your social media. Thank you very much.